Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ty and I'm going to be doing a DIY circle skirt tutorial for you guys today. If you would like to see how to make a simple and easy circle skirt, then keep watching. Alright, so to complete this tutorial or to execute the tutorial, you will be needing just a few things. You'll be needing first of all, you'll be needing your circle skirt pattern or your peplum pattern. This here is the peplum pattern that I created. I did a DIY tutorial on how to create a circle skirt or peplum pattern, and be sure to go check out that video so you can have this pattern here, because I will be using this pattern to create my circle skirt. So make sure you go check that video out. I'll leave it in the description bar below. I'll leave it in the description bar below, as well as in a link somewhere up there. Along with the pattern, you'll be needing a nice little yardstick or a measuring tape. And the reason why you'll be needing these two items is because you're going to lengthen your pattern. Well, it depends on if you already used or if you already created your pattern into a circle skirt. But if you created a peplum, then you'll be lengthening the peplum. So because I just created the peplum pattern, I'm going to lengthen this pattern. I'm mainly going to be using my waist measurement, but I'm going to lengthen my hem measurement. And you'll need some nice little pins for your fabric. You'll need some fabric cutters, some fabric shears, as well as your fabric, whatever fabric you want, and zippers. Now you can use elastic if you want to use elastic. What I would suggest you do is, if you want to use elastic versus a zipper, so what you will want to do is, instead of using the waist measurement to calculate your radius for your circle skirt pattern, you want to use your hip measurement to calculate the radius for your circle skirt pattern. But you want to make sure that it fits over your hips to go around your waist. And I would suggest as well that if you do plan on using the elastic, definitely don't make the elastic the same exact length as your hip measurement, because your hips are wider than your waist. So if you are able to get it past your hips, but the elastic does not squeeze the skirt to where it fits your waist, or it does not close it in to where it fits your waist, then it's pretty much just going to be hanging there, because it's the same width as your hip, and it's not actually meant to fit your waist. So I'll probably just do another tutorial on how I make a circle skirt using elastic, but for this particular tutorial I'm going to be doing a zipper. So yeah, and you also want to make sure you have your sewing machine or your serger, whichever one that you feel that you want to use for this particular tutorial. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you here how I cut my fabric out. Alright, so I'm going to be working with two different fabrics. This is a netted scuba knit here, and this is just a regular double knit ponte knit. And this just happened to be some fabric that I had on hand that matched this black scuba knit fabric that I like. So what I'm going to be doing, because this is see-through, I'm going to be lining up my skirt with this ponte knit. So I know you guys saw me cut out 2 different fabrics when I was cutting out my circle skirt. What I did was I serged both fabrics together. I serged my scuba knit fabric and my double knit fabric here. I serged them together to pretty much create one fabric, and I serged them together all the way around on the hem as well as the side seams and the waist. So this is pretty much just one fabric. So that step right there, I didn't feel the need to add that to the video because more than likely you are probably someone who maybe only have one fabric. But if you do have 2 fabrics, then that's one of the ways that you can go ahead and, you know, if you have a lining or whatever, serge it together and voila, it's one fabric. So that's, and I use that method for this fabric because of the type of fabric that it is. It just seemed much easier to work with. And I didn't want the double skirt look, so I wanted it to be look like one fabric. That's the look that I was going for, so that's why I pretty much just serged the fabrics together. So, and those are my kids in the background. So, but what I'm going to do is now I'm going to hem the bottom of my circle skirt, and that's going to take a while. So I'm not going to record me doing that, but it's just a simple hem, and all I'm going to do is just roll it. Since I've already serged that the hem of the bottom, pretty much because I've already serged the skirt, the hem of the skirt, I'm just going to roll it once. I'm just going to roll it once and then do a straight stitch all the way around as far as hemming the skirt, and then we'll go to the next part once I get done hemming. And I suggest you do the same as well. If you have a fabric that you didn't serge the bottom like I did, I would suggest you do a double roll. So I would suggest you roll it once and then roll it again, and then do your straight stitch on your skirt. So let's go ahead and hem our skirt, and then we'll be back after hemming, and we'll be back to do the rest. Alright, so I have my waistband here, and like you saw before, I'm using 2 different fabrics. So if you're not using 2 different fabrics, it'll be a lot easier for you, this process here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in a way that as if I was using one fabric. So I'm going to fold this in half like so, fold it in half, and then I'm going to start pinning. And it's not going to be perfect as far as perfectly folded evenly, since the way at least for my fabric is not, but I'm going to start pinning. Now, because of the type of fabric that I have, it's really hard for me to pin, but yeah, this was purposely done. But sometimes when I'm getting a radius for a circle skirt, the waist radius can come out a little bit larger than my waist size. So I always like to make sure my waistband is like, I just measure a couple of inches extra just to be on the safe side. So now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and sew my waistband. I'm going to serge it on there. I'm going to serge my waistband with my skirt, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've serged my waistband on. Now I am going to, the skirt is pretty much done. So now I'm going to, what I ended up doing as well, when I put on my waistband, I went ahead and serged the edge of both sides of the waistband that were open, because it'll be easier for me to sew on my zipper that I'm getting ready to do in just a few minutes. So now what I'm going to do is get my zipper on. All right, so if you have a zipper, you probably have the little extra excess right here on your zipper. So what I normally do is I just cut it away. Right at that silver mark. I just cut it away, and then I just get a lighter and I burn the edge. Just be careful. I burn the edge just to seal it. All right, so now my zipper is ready to be applied. Let's turn our skirt right side out. I have my zipper facing up, and those are my two open seams. So what you want to do is take this side here and the silver part where the zip is, you want to have that facing away from that seam, that open seam. So you want to turn that zipper around, because what's going to happen is, because we're trying to make it to where the zipper is not so exposed, what's going to happen is when you sew it and then you zip it up, it's going to show like that. So that's the look that we're trying to get. Well, that's the look that I'm trying to get with this zipper here. So you want to have the zipper part facing away from the seam, but you want to first make sure that you're using the right side of the zipper on the right side of your skirt. So what you want to do is make sure that that zipper is facing up, and whatever side the two zipper parts are on is the side that you're going to sew along the dress. Just make sure you turn it to where the zipper is facing away from the seam. So what I'm going to do is pin here, and go down a little bit more, and pin here. All right, and then I'm going to pin at the very bottom flap across like that. All right, so, or you can use tape sometimes. I don't feel it would be necessary just because of the type of fabric that this is. But if you were using a different type of fabric, the one that was a lot easier to work with, then you could probably just use some double-sided tape to just tape your zipper onto the fabric and then just sew it. But because of the type of fabric that I'm using, I don't think that that will be really necessary, because I really doubt that it would work that well on this fabric. So right now the zipper is facing backwards, and this flap here that will be on the other side is laying this way because it's going to be easier for me to sew. So now let's go ahead and sew our zipper. and you want to make sure you get a zipper foot for this particular sewing step. All right, so this here is your zipper foot, and I'm going to go ahead and detach my standard foot here, and I'm going to oops, put on my zipper foot. Now what you want to do is make sure that you're putting in, because my zipper foot has two sides that you can click it on, so you want to make sure that depending on what side you're sewing, as far as your seam, that you're putting it on the right side, because you want that zipper foot to line up exactly right there. So you want it to line up right into that hole. So what I'm gonna do is what I like to do is, before I start sewing, is like I like to put my needle down to see my position, like the position of it. So what I'm going to do, oops, go up. There we go. I changed the position of my needle. I moved it over just a little bit because it was right on the zipper. So you don't want to sew on the actual zipper, because that would be pointless. You wouldn't be able to zip it. So now let me check it and see where it is. There. Now it's right exactly perfect to where I want it positioned. All right. So let's get sewing. So I'm going to stop right there with my needle sticking down. I'm going to lift up my foot, and I'm going to zip up my zipper. Yeah, ouch. Don't stick yourself. Oh goodness. Sometimes it's like when you get just that close. Let's see. All right, there we go. So let me stick that back down in there. All right, so zip up that zipper. Now I'm going to finish it off all the way until I get to this silver point here, like right below that silver point. All right, let me back stitch. I just got so distracted by that text. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. But I back stitch. I think that was the last thing I did. I back stitch. Now I'm going to go forward a little bit, and I'm going to go right there. We go. Right there, right below the silver point, and then I'm going to call it quits for that side. And just cut this off. All right, so you see I have one side of the zipper on and it's sewn together. So that is how it's going to look. Now I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did for this side to the other side. So what you want to do, like I said, is you want to twist it where the zipper is facing away from the raw edge or the outer seam, and go ahead and pin it to secure. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing the same stitching that we did on that side, we're going to do it on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and sew that. I'm not going to show that on the video. I'm going to go ahead and sew it, and then I'll be right back. All right, so my zipper is now attached. Now what I'm going to do is, because as you can see, this right here is still kind of, it's like flapping out or sticking out, and I want it to lay like that. So what I'm going to do is do another stitch here on top to where this lays down just like that, and I'm going to do it as close to the zipper as I can, and I'm going to do it to both sides. Just going to do a straight stitch going right down there, and I'll be right back. Oops. All right, so my zipper is now installed. As you can see here, my zipper is installed, and now all I have to do is close up this seam here. So what I'm going to do is turn my dress inside out, and I am just going to go ahead and sew along the seam right here and close this seam up, and then your skirt will be complete.